Can you guys see my screen? Can you guys please see my screen? Can you see my screen? All right. So let's continue. I think you guys are getting what I'm trying to explain here. What I'm trying to explain. I don't know. I've tried to pay for this thing for my Zoom premium. I think the last time I paid for it, my card had a problem on it, so I'm trying to like do it back. They are telling me to create a new account, and I don't just want to create a new account. But I think by tomorrow I'll figure it out so that I can pay for it and we'll have long Zoom calls because I don't want us to be having these short ones. So again, I think we should continue. I hope if you have any question concerning these key level stuff, you can ask me before we go into storyline because storyline is the most important. So if you have any question concerning this, you can ask. You can type in the chat box, or you can unmute yourself and ask your question. Any other no question, then we can continue with storyline. All right, the storyline. There are some things I want us to take note. I want us to write about. I want you to write down. I don't know if you hold your jotter on pencil or pen, you can write it down. So number one, the first thing you should understand about storyline. Storyline is for direction. Yeah, storyline is for direction or market bias. We use storyline to find our daily direction, weekly direction, or monthly direction, or weekly bias, daily bias, or monthly bias. Like to understand where the market is headed to. So now, a storyline is a multi-time frame game of price and time changes in direction. To identify storyline, we shall use four engagement rules. So there are four engagement rules we use when we want to identify storyline. So the first rule, we have the same time frame levels. That's the first rule. Same time frame levels. I'm going to explain that. First rule, we have same time frame levels. Your writing down is going to be very important. First rule, we have, oh, sorry. Uh, excuse me, Newton. All right, let's continue. The first rule, we have the same time frame levels. So under that, we will write something like for direction, we will use higher time frames. That's the monthly, weekly, and daily. For directions, we are going to use the higher time frames, monthly, weekly, and the daily. Next point, right? Whatever starts on the time frame must go to the same time frame for instance. Like whatever starts on any time frame is going to end on that same time frame. That means if we start a storyline on a daily time frame, we are going to end that storyline on that same time frame. You understand? If we start a storyline on the monthly time frame, we are going to end that storyline on that same monthly time frame. If you start a storyline on a daily time frame, we're going to end that storyline on that same daily time frame. So whatever starts on monthly will end on monthly. Whatever starts on weekly must end on weekly. Whatever starts on daily must end on daily. So when it comes to that one, don't mess it up. That's the first rule. Don't mess it up. Don't try to mess it up. Um, approved. All right. So here's how you're going to see it. Let's put lines. Yeah, put another line here. All right. So we are going to call these lines our weekly support and resistance or our weekly key levels. We're going to call this line our weekly support and resistance. Let me use the other line, the other trend line, which I can rename it. We're going to use this one, the first line. This will be our second line here. So these are going to be, let's say if we're on the weekly time frame, for instance, let's say we're on the weekly time frame. So we're going to say weekly, weekly key level, weekly KL. This is a weekly key level, and this one is also a weekly key level. You understand? On the same time frame. weekly key level, we're on a weekly key level, key, weekly key level. So now, what do you want to see? If a storyline starts on this time frame, for instance, when a storyline starts here, this is what you're going to see. Let's say price comes, taps into this weekly key level, we get comes down, because all this back and forth are roadblocks. We're going to explain what are roadblocks. So comes down, goes up, comes down, goes up, comes down, goes up, comes down, goes up. Taps back into this weekly key level here, reverses to the upside. This is where everything ends here. That it started on a weekly key level, it ends on a weekly key level. You understand? So don't mix it up. Same as on the daily. If this was a daily key level, it's just the same thing, just the opposite. It's just the same thing, sorry, the same thing on a weekly key level, daily key level, and monthly key level. You understand? So price moves weekly to weekly, daily to week, daily to daily, weekly to weekly, daily to daily, and monthly to monthly. Hope it's making enough sense. I hope it's making a lot of sense. Let's see if we can have it on this. See if we can have something like that on the chart. Let's go on the weekly time frame. So for example, yes, so on the weekly time frame, watch this on the weekly time. So here we have, let's say we have a weekly key level. It's a weekly key level, and here's another weekly key level. So you saw what price the price left this key level to this other key level, and it's going back to this key level. Get price is going back to this other key level. So price moves just from key level to key level on the same time frame. From key level to key level on the same time frame. If you spot a key level on that time, it should be on that time frame. You don't start switching levels. That's how you look for your higher time frame buyers. You understand? The second rule of storyline, second rule, that is the start and end of storyline. The second rule is the start and end of storyline. So a storyline starts with a rejection. Rejection is defined by a candle closed below resistance or above support. Hope you guys understand. And a storyline ends the same way with a rejection. A storyline ends the same way with a rejection. So this is termed as monthly rejects monthly, weekly rejects weekly, daily rejects daily. So yes, a basic example, a basic illustration of a storyline. So let's say here is our, for example, how do we know this is a key level? Sorry, let's start it this way. Let's say, okay, here we have an A-shaped key level. Here we have an A-shaped key level. Here we have an A-shaped. Okay, here we have an A-shaped key level. And now, this key level, you can mark out, I always told you, sorry, I always tell you, mark out this key level like this. Let's say from the peak of the key level, from this peak of the key level. So what do you want to see? You want price to come into this key level and reject it with a wick. You understand? Reject it with a wick. That's like you expect price to start coming back to its key level. Giving us these reversals and all this stuff. Reversals. And once price comes to the key level, let me use let's draw that tool. Okay, let's use this brush. So you expect price to come, tap into this key level with a wick like this, and close below the key level. I hope it's making sense. You expect price to come and tap at the key level and close below the key level with a wick. This is all what you require. That's all is required of you. You just need price to come, tap into the key level, come back, close down, rejects it with a wick. And the way it starts, that's how you're going to expect that same key level to end. If let's say for instance, this key level, let's say the storyline start. This is the beginning of the storyline. This is the beginning of the storyline, because after this, you're going to find things like reversals, reversals, reversals. So price comes to another weekly. If let's say we're on the weekly, to another weekly storyline, another weekly key level. Sorry, let's say yes, the weekly key level. Price will come. It taps with the wick, rejects with a wick, and a new storyline is going to begin from here. A new storyline is going to begin from here to the upside. So that's just simply how storyline works. You get, that's simply how storyline works. So now I think let me show you on live chart illustration. Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. And I'll show you also where it failed. For example, yes, here's a good example. Here's a weekly key level. It's a weekly key level. If you mark out this key level from this closing price to this point, what happened? Price came, tapped into this key level. Price came, tapped into this key level and closed below with the like close, tap with the wick and close below. Here's the close. Price closed below here. That's the beginning of a new storyline. That's the beginning of a new storyline. So there are other things you have to look for. You go on the lower time frame, look for a break and all that. Can anything manipulate a chart not to get the opposite key level? Can anything manipulate chart not to get the opposite key level? Yeah, we have these roadblocks. We have roadblocks which we are going to also discuss about them. Just a little bit further. I will explain roadblocks. So there are some things like can make the price not to actually go to where it wants to go to. You understand? You can make price actually go to where it doesn't want to go to. Like here's the next key level you should be targeting, or this one. You should be targeting for price to come back there. So there are some stuff that are going to make you, those are roadblocks, and those roadblocks are inside here on one time frame lower. That's on a daily time frame. We are going to explain that further. So I think this is clear. Let me show you where it didn't work. Example here. Here is a key level. Here is an A-shaped key level. What happened? Price came. Break. It didn't tap with a wick and close below. So that you don't have anything to do with this one. You have avoided losses. No trade for you. You're good, you're calm. Hope you understand. You're good, you're calm. You don't take any trade, but for you to take a trade, you want price to leave a key level to another key level, tap with a wick and close below. Those are the best. There are some key levels that are going to close above here, or they're going to close just slightly above, and they are actually going to play out. But this is actually the best. This is actually the best. Once it close taps with the wick and close below, that's actually the best. It's going to give you more money. So I think let's continue the third rule. That's confirmation or breakout. Third rule, confirmation or breakout. So a rejection is required as seen in rule number 2. There's a rejection which is required as seen in rule number 2, which is this is the rejection. Watch, this is the rejection. A rejection is required. This should lead you to a breakout on 1 or 2 time frame lower. This should show you a breakout on 1 or 2 time frame lower. Like also here was an example of this trade we took here. Here was a weekly key level. Price came, tapped and rejected and closed. Rejected and closed. Hope it's making sense. Price came, tapped, rejected and closed. So with that, you already know you want to go 1 or 2 time frame lower to look for example, again, let's take this one over again. You want to go 1 or 2 time frame lower. And what are you looking for? You're looking for a breakout. This one time frame, there was no breakout. So I think we took this on the 4-hour time frame. We spotted the breakout on the 4-hour. What's the breakout on the 4-hour time frame? So again, you want to go 1 or 2 times. Like that's your confirmation of storyline. That is your confirmation of storyline. You just want to go 1 or 2 time frame lower and you see a breakout. You want to see a breakout. That's your confirmation of storyline. If it doesn't work, if after that and price doesn't go in your direction, that means maybe you're not in the right session. Because if you're almost at, like, I always want to trade that in the London Q zone and all those things. If you understand sessions very well, you're going to make good money from it. So you want to go 1 or 2 time frame lower for a breakout. Next, if there is no clear breakout, if there's no clear breakout, there is no confirmation. So you have to wait for a breakout before taking any, like, thinking of anything of thinking of you have started a storyline. If there's no breakout, there's no confirmation. So you must have a breakout before you are sure of what you're doing. So find the next level of resistance or support or the opposite side for your target. We will have two types of breakout, internal and external breakout. So internal breakout, I don't like internal breakout. I always want the external breakout. The internal breakout, they are not really that valid for me. I always want the internal breakout. Always want the internal. I always want the external breakout, sorry. So let me draw it. Let's do some illustrations. So for example, price came, gave us a key level. So what do you expect? We expect now, we expect price, we expect price to come, reject this key level with a wick like this, draw the candlestick. Okay, let's say yes, our candlestick. Don't mind the shape. Yes, our candlestick. So now, what do you want to see? This is like everything here is on the same time frame. Let's say if you're on the daily time frame, everything you're seeing here is on the daily time frame. Now you want to go now one time frame lower, which is the 4 hour time frame. What do you want to see? In this, inside this candlestick that break out and close below here, you want to see something like this. QMR, the beginning of a QMR, the beginning of a head and shoulder. So this should be like a sweep for me. And anytime there's a sweep using SMC, this high is called a strong high. This high becomes a strong high. So once I've gotten, this is my break of structure here, my breakout. Here's my breakout. This is my full confirmation. And I'm sure price is going down to the next daily key level. I'm sure price is going to the next key level. So that's just all what you want to see. On this daily resistance, you want price to come down to the daily support. That's all. That's all. Let me do it down for a sell opportunity, for a buy opportunity. So key level, let's say weekly time frame, key level, weekly time frame, key level, price comes, rejects weekly time frame, key level. On lower time frame, what do you want to see? You want to see something like this, a breakout. Hope it's making sense. You want to see a breakout to the upside. That's just all. You want to see a breakout to the upside. That's all I think you've confirmed. And now, let's see again. The fourth rule, roadblocks and retracement, those are or pullbacks. So that's what the other guy was asking. That's why you're going to see these things, like they are very, 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 very delicate. Things like these roadblocks and all these things. Those are the things that can really disturb you. Like your trade is not really going to go in your direction sometimes because of these roadblocks. So roadblocks, or they are either retracement or pullbacks. Roadblocks to a storyline are areas of interest that are found in one time frame lower. Before price completes its storyline, it will be bouncing from support and resistance found in one time frame lower. You get, for example, on the weekly time frame or on the weekly storyline, price will bounce on daily support and resistance. On the daily storyline, price will bounce on 4 hour support and resistance. I hope it's making sense. So storylines are simply stuff like, let's say, all these retracements, and even though price is still going to go to your direction, but it won't just go in your direction smoothly. It won't just go to your direction smoothly. Let's say yes, a weekly, and you already have your storyline like this. Now go one time frame lower, which is the daily time frame. You start seeing things like this. That's price moving from its own support and resistance zone on the daily time frame. That's price moving on its own support and resistance zones on the daily time frame. So now these zones here, we are going to mark it these are on the daily. On the daily. So that's how you want to take your trades now on the daily, targeting now the daily support and resistance zones. You want to be targeting these daily support and resistance zones now on the daily time frame. Those are going to be your target because, for example, it's simply logical. It's simply logical. You don't want to come. This is right on the weekly time frame. We got this on right on the weekly time frame. You don't want to come, let's say, on the weekly. Okay. For instance, you had something like this. All right. You have something like this. You know, okay, this is your weekly key level, and this your next weekly key level here. This is your target. This next weekly key levels, which you're expecting price to come to this key level before you can know your storyline is done. Your storyline is finished. And now you don't expect to start buying from here. Let's say you took the buy from here. You don't expect to buy from here and hold this buy to this point. You are going to meet those roadblocks, and those roadblocks are going to be on the daily time frame. So you just want to go to the daily time frame. Those roadblocks, where are you going to find them? Here are those roadblocks. Here are the roadblocks. Here, here are the roadblocks. This point here, this supply zone or resistance zone. Here are roadblocks. Roadblock is another roadblock here. Those are zones for me. I will call them simply zones where price can easily react from. You get those are zones where price can easily react from, where you should be looking to TP and all those stuff. Here's another roadblock. You get here's another roadblock. So let's say we are to take this trade on this 1 hour time frame. For example, if we were to take this trade here, this buy, all right, if we were to take this buy from here, firstly, you want to go. I think if we deal a roadblock on a daily time frame. Sorry, I'm mixing this up. I hope it's not confusing you. I think I want to go to one time frame on the 4 hour. I'll refine my roadblocks very well, and I only see the ones which price I've already reacted to. You get, I want to see the roadblocks which price I've already reacted to. I think this roadblock here already got reacted. Price reacted to it with this week. With this week, so it went down. I won't count this one again. So this one is already deleted from my list. This one, this is a new key level here, which price can actually react for me. So this way I want to TP, because this one I'll be scared of this, because price can actually react to it. And this is a QMR price 2 hasn't touched it, so price can actually also react to this. So here's where I want to take my first TP, or I want to TP even for this trade. I'm good to go, and my 30 pip stop loss should be around here. 30 pip stop loss here should be around here, and that should give me 1:14 risk to reward. So that's just how roadblocks work. All these roadblock stuff work. Simple. You have your trade. So that's just how the alchemist strategy is. It looks like it's very, 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 very difficult. But once you've understood everything you've got to, and you make sure you always have liquidity here. You make sure you always have liquidity, because here we have our liquidity. When you have liquidity, it's going to make your trade to be more valid. Here we had our liquidity here. Liquidity price came tap because of our, what do we call, our trend line and our key level. And we had a sweet buy, very sweet buy. So I think let's continue. Go back to weekly. I hope it's making sense. I hope it's making sense. Those are roadblocks. Um, I think with key levels, that should be with storyline, that should be, I think, um, should be, I think, the greatest part of it. And you should understand the multi-time frame game also. Monthly is used for direction, but I wouldn't advise you to always use the monthly time frame for anything. You understand? It's not that consistent. The monthly is not that consistent. So use the weekly. You can use the weekly for main direction. If you're using the weekly for main direction, the daily, you can use the daily for retracement or roadblocks. You understand? Retracement or roadblocks against the weekly direction. If you've gotten your direction from the weekly, you want to use the daily time frame. You can write it down. If you've gotten your direction from the weekly, you want to use the daily time frame for retracement, roadblocks for the weekly direction, and H4 for confirmation or roadblocks. You can also use the H4 for confirmation or roadblocks, gap levels for daily and weekly direction, and H1 use specially because you want price to come there and to look for your entries. You understand? Look for your entries and all this stuff. So refinement, you can refine now on the 30 minute, 15 minute, 5 minute, just a time frame for refinement. 15 minutes, 30 minutes, 5 minutes, you refine your entry. So do enough backtesting on this, do enough backtesting, send it to the group, send it to the group, send it to the group, and I'm going to ask you answer any question, send it to the question channel, ask all your questions. I just want you look for so many, please, so many, especially on gold. And on gold, if you want to use this book, let's say on gold, this is gold. Use this book, use this where is it? Use the Saxo book, this one, this Saxo. Use this Saxo. It's going to give you a more accurate how will I call it? A more accurate price action on gold, more than all these ones. Just on gold. So go on gold, look for these key levels on the daily time frame, weekly time frame, and you look for these key levels that have been rejected with a week and closed. You can mark it, you mark it out. You go on the lower time frame, one time frame lower. You look for those breaks. Please, you look for those breaks. You screenshot the on the higher time frame. Screenshot the setup. Screenshot, then go to the one time frame lower. You screenshot your breakout, and you go one time. Just that. I just want like the storyline. Yes, you must not go to the lower time frame to look for entries. Just that. Just that. So please try to do it and don't send it to my inbox. Send it to the group. Send it um to the question section. Don't send it to my inbox, please. I won't see it. So have a nice time. If you have any question, you can ask. Any questions? Any questions? Dre, I can't get you clearly.
Um,
Any question? Well, if there's no question, then I think we're done for today. And when we're going to have another class, I'm going to signal everyone.
bro,
Yes. Any question?
yeah, let's say I'm on a daily time frame, and like I have a key level, then the market has reacted on that key level, but the candle has not yet closed on the daily. What
Mhm.
should I just wait for the daily time frame candle to close, or I can scale down to a lower time frame and find a break?
Yes. Actually, you can scale down to a lower time frame and look for a break. It's very right. Just go one time frame lower, and if you can spot a valid break, then it's to your advantage. But on the daily time frame, is what to wait. For me, I would like to wait on the daily time frame. It's mostly on a weekly, which I can't wait for one full week for a candle to close, which I can go to a lower time frame. Let's just look for my break. But if you have to do it, then it's okay. There's no problem with that. Any other question?
All right, bro, thanks.
Okay. If there's no question, then have a nice time. Please just try to do what I've asked you guys to do. It's going to help all of us. It's going to help us. I just want us to be done with this, then we can start sharing setups together. There are so many setups. I want everyone here should be like everybody here to be very, very good at this stuff. The way we are going to do it together, we are going to buzz the internet together. We're going to have good setups. Everybody here are going to have good results. We are going to grow together, and we are going to like we are really actually going to hit the internet together with massive results. That's what I want this year. Everyone here, I want everyone to be successful. So have a nice night, and thanks for all the how do you call that thing? Thanks for all the wishes and easy wishes. In fact, thanks. Have a nice time.
Yes, bro. Welcome for the wishes.
Yeah, the wishes.
When you fool. Anyhow, bro, confirm. Good night.
All right.